Welcome to another edition of Prosperity Perspective. I'm your host, Mark Chandik, and today we'll be discussing the risk of you living too long. That's right. Chapter 5 of my book, 10 Financial Strategies for the Smart Investor. Why assessing your longevity risk is critically important so that you don't run out of money during retirement. I'm going to break down this topic for you in 3 parts. First, what is the historical perspective of a retirement life cycle, and how have businesses responded to longer life expectancies? Second, how is life expectancy calculated, and what do the numbers mean? And finally, third, what are some strategies that will help you manage your longevity risk so that you and your family don't run out of money prematurely? Ever since World War II, life expectancy in our country has climbed steadily. This increase in how long we're living after our work career ends means that we now have a 25 to 30 year period of time that will be living off the savings and investments made during our working career. This long duration of time, when we will be drawing down our assets, puts a tremendous strain on the need to earn a healthy return on our assets and watch our spending. Corporate America is aware of the increasing life expectancy of workers in the country, and they took steps to discontinue traditional lifetime income retirement plans. Look at this chart. It reflects the steady decline of so-called defined benefit plans from 1979 to 2011. Companies knew that the amount of money they needed to fund for the long retirement horizon of its employees was simply too big a financial burden and unsustainable. Now, only a few businesses continue to offer traditional retirement plans, and most have instead replaced them with 401k plans that require employees to put their own money aside first. These new generation of plans effectively shifted the longevity risk to the employees. Workers now are required to put money away during their retirement and manage the investment risk. It's no wonder that so many people are woefully financially unprepared for their long retirement horizon. In fact, the only remaining areas of our economy where traditional retirement plans still exist are in the public service sector. Firemen, police officers, military personnel, and teachers still enjoy the guarantees and peace of mind of a lifetime retirement income stream. You've no doubt read stories about how these plans are consistently underfunded and require more and more public funds to stay solvent. Social Security is the granddaddy of all retirement plans, and it's constantly underfunded and requires higher and higher contributions by workers, as well as additional funding from the federal government. In order that the Social Security remains solvent, legislators are considering changing retirement entry ages and other details of the program. To plan properly for a successful retirement, you need to know what your life expectancy is and how that plays into the planning process. For example, if I ask someone how long they think they'll live, they may give me the age of 85. They determine this by looking at their family history and combining that with the knowledge of their own personal medical history. That's a good guess, but you need to be a little more accurate in your thinking. In order to do this, you'll need to look at mortality assumptions that are embedded in most retirement income planning software. You'll be asked for your current age, health status, and family history. You'll also be asked if you're single or married. All these factors contribute to the calculation of your life expectancy. Let's take our example further and say that instead of age 85, we have a life expectancy of age 90. So does that mean we will die at age 90 and that we should plan for that age? The answer is no. Your life expectancy means that you currently have a 50% probability of living to that age and a 50% probability of living longer than that age. As we continue to age and our health status remains fairly positive, your life expectancy will continue to extend. Of course, I'm not talking about quality of life, I'm just talking about remaining life. Most married couples that I work with have a combined life expectancy of between age 90 and 95. So we're planning for a very long retirement income period. We all know that modern medicine and the access to quality of care will extend our lives. This may take the form of home care, assisted living care, or full nursing care. but all of these resources serve to extend the probability of a long life. So what are the primary risks when planning for a long life expectancy and accepting your own longevity risk? First, you need to understand how inflation will erode the buying power of your retirement nest egg. You need to make sure to include a healthy inflation assumption in your planning. Remember, not all of your expenses will be subject to inflation. Your mortgage is the primary example that won't inflate, so you can remove that from the equation. But that means everything else inflates, and healthcare costs inflate at twice the pace of everything else. Even though planning for inflation during your retirement is important, there are a few nuances to the planning that you should take into consideration. In my observation, there are 3 distinct phases to a person's retirement life cycle, and the number of years that people spend in each of the 3 phases is unique to that person. The first phase I call your go-go years. This is when you first retire and you have time, money, and motivation to travel and do things you couldn't do during your working years. Your spending will be maxed out during this phase. The second phase are the slow-go years. This period is when you or your partner begin to slow down and don't enjoy traveling as much as before. You may have developed some health impairments that impact your desire and ability to travel. Finally, you enter the no-go years. This is when you don't even want to leave your house or walk down to the mailbox. Your health has declined considerably and your spending has come to a crawl. So what I'm saying is that you won't be spending at the same rate for the entire 30+ years of retirement, and you can adjust the spend rate down in later years. This is a more accurate reflection of reality and will reduce the stress on your retirement portfolio. Now that you understand the importance of getting your life expectancy correct and planning properly for that timeline, what strategies can you potentially employ that will reduce the risk of you running out of money prematurely? First is the concept of transferring the risk of living too long, also known as your longevity risk. Insurance companies have a monopoly on risk management. They use mortality and actuarial assumptions to appropriately price life insurance products. Well, they also have financial vehicles called annuities with lifetime guarantee features. These investment vehicles allow you to take investment market risk, but shift your longevity risk to them from a lifetime income perspective. This tool can provide benefits in your retirement planning, but the devil is in the details, so make sure you work with a highly knowledgeable and appropriately licensed insurance professional. Second, you can shift all or part of the devastating cost of a long-term care event by purchasing some form of insurance protection. Please take a moment to watch my video that is solely focused on the types of coverage available in the marketplace today. Third is to develop a 3-bucket retirement distribution strategy. The first bucket is your long-term bucket, and you will be taking the maximum amount of risk that you're comfortable with. This bucket is intended to do most of the long-term heavy lifting and is intended to beat inflation. With this bucket will come volatility of returns. The second bucket is your middle-of-the-road bucket that has a time horizon of 3 to 7 years. There's less risk and volatility associated with this bucket. Your last bucket is the bucket where you'll be drawing income, and this bucket should have 1 to 3 years worth of income. The investments you select should provide steady income and low volatility. The idea here is to provide yourself with the ability to weather a prolonged downturn in the investment marketplace without having to sell assets and book a loss. The last strategy is to consider working a bit longer, either part-time or full-time. This could be in the same industry that you're coming from, or perhaps you'll dive into something new that excites you. Let's face it, more and more people are working longer, not necessarily because they have to, but because they choose to. The first benefit of working longer is obvious. You won't begin drawing on your assets until later in life, giving your retirement nest egg more time to compound and grow. The second benefit is that your brain will stay stimulated and you'll stay engaged in healthy social groups. Studies have continually shown that one of the key ingredients to a healthy and happy retirement is to stay engaged and have stimulating activities during the day. Well, there you have it. Hopefully you understand longevity a little better now and also have some tools that help you mitigate the risk. After all, Everyone wants to have confidence and peace of mind that their money will never be a problem during retirement. One of the biggest fears that I hear is that people don't want to be a burden to their children. That goal can be accomplished, but you have to do the planning early and be disciplined to stay the course. A qualified financial advisor can help you plan properly and stay the course when things get bumpy, because they always do. I hope you enjoyed this edition of Prosperity Perspective. For a free copy of my book, click the link in the description below, make comments, hit the like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on future episodes. This is Mark Chandik, and I thank you for watching.